Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Miss Diane Sieg.
Thank you, President Ulmer, board, faculty, and staff, and Walden University School of Nursing graduates of 2019. Thank you for taking the noble call of nursing. I am so excited to be here today, and I can feel the energy and the buzz from where I'm standing. It's a great day for everybody here, not just the graduates, but your family, your friends, the faculty, all of us here that are so excited for you. You have chosen a noble profession where you will share people's most dire and devastating moments and also their most joyful ones. And you are well prepared and ready to start this journey. As nurses, we all have the opportunity to serve in so many ways. Friends and family already think you know everything about their health because you're a nurse, right? And how many social events have you been to where near strangers start asking you all kinds of questions and share intimate details about their bowel movements or their mood disorders because you're a nurse? Now, although the dinner table isn't the ideal situation to discuss these matters, I always consider it an honor that people trust me enough to actually give such intimate details about their lives, and I hope you will too. You'll also have the opportunity to serve on committees and boards, both inside and outside of your organizations. And I know the Walden culture really supports this with its high rate of volunteerism. The ANA's initiative, 10,000 nurses by 2020, 10,000 nurses on boards, inspired me to join one a couple of years ago. And I've got to tell you, I wasn't really sure what I could contribute to a board. But as nurses, our life experience is so unique. We see things a little differently. We ask questions that others wouldn't even consider. So I've gained a lot. It's been very rewarding for me to be on a board, and they've kept me around, so I guess it's working out for them too. I encourage you to get involved and to stay involved. You know, nurses, we're a special breed of people. We think differently, not only because we process so quickly, we're problem solvers and innovators, but we're also advocates and healers and lifelong learners. 37 years ago, when I was sitting where you are, about to graduate with my BSN from Indiana University, I had no idea the richness of the nursing journey would offer me, and all that I had to learn along the way. The first summer I was a CNA, I knew that's when I wanted to be a nurse, because even back then, I recognized that nurses were the ones who were really in charge of the patients. Plus, they got to do all that cool stuff, like give injections, start IVs, and change dressings. After graduation, being a rather on the adrenaline junkie side of things, I decided I wanted to work in critical care, and I was so lucky to work in a very busy open heart unit where I learned how to titrate drips and run ventilators and balloon pumps and measure all kinds of cardiac function. After a few years, I was curious about management. And before I left the ICU, the seasoned nurses said to me, you know, after you've worked here, you're going to find everything else pretty boring. Are you sure you want to leave? But I was. I opened a new cardiac unit, and as a novice leader, I learned a new skill for communication and conflict management every single day. Hiring, firing, evaluating. It was a great experience. But when a small software company approached me to help develop one of the first online charting systems, I was intrigued. I knew it would stretch me. It was 1990, and as hard as it might be for you to imagine, I had never even turned on a computer, let alone work on one. As a product analyst, I was the go-between, the engineers who were developing the product and the ICU nurses who would actually use it. I learned a great deal about technology, but even more about the art of negotiation. By the time the system went live, I realized I favored managing patients over managing people and projects. And when I gave my notice, everybody in this company, from the president to the sales reps, were shocked that I would give up this opportunity of a lifetime. The small company was about to go public. There were stock options and promotions on the horizon. But I really did want to get back to patient care. I initially looked into being a flight nurse. I thought that sounded really exciting, until I saw the size of the working space in the helicopter, or really the lack of the working space in the helicopter. I'm fairly claustrophobic, so that pretty much ended that idea. I chose the ER. I thought it would be a better fit, and it really was. I love the fast pace and the autonomy and just the ability to witness this variety of human condition every day. Always interested in health and fitness, I started my own business on the side, teaching aerobics, doing some lifestyle counseling and personal training. And one day I went to a women's conference and saw a fabulous speaker who opened, who was also a nurse. And after the conference, I asked her if I could take her to lunch. This began my humble journey into the speaking business. It was and still is the most significant career move I made of not knowing how much I didn't know. As it turns out, in public speaking, you not only have to know your topic and your audience, you also have to know yourself, which is an ongoing process. What I know now that I wish I knew then was that every career choice that I made, even the ones that I thought didn't work out so well, gave me the growth and skills and insight to choose the next one. And you'll do this too. With every choice that you make, your education is never over, especially in nursing. It's just this opportunity to continue to grow and learn about yourself and about everybody else in your life. Now I'm so grateful for all of my experiences because I use these skills every day when I consult with nurses. And I still get to do really cool stuff, like be here with you today. You all know that nursing is not a job, it's a calling. It's the difference between earning a living and changing a life. And with the landscape of healthcare moving so fast and furious today, the nursing profession needs you. And your high energy, your fresh perspective, your big vision, and your resilience. I know you're already resilient. You've worked very hard to obtain your degrees through countless challenges. Online learning and working at home, they have unique challenges, and to people who aren't familiar with this, they may think it might be a little easier. All the freedom that we have, but the truth is what they don't realize is the challenges of isolation and technology and the distractions of family, laundry, and Ben & Jerry's in the freezer. Requires resilience. Resilience is bouncing back in adversity, but it's so much more. It's growing and learning about ourselves. It's standing up, speaking up, showing up, not just for your patients and families and students, but for yourselves. When I coach nurses, no matter what level, degree, titles, or experience, self-care seems to still be one of their biggest challenges. They want to thrive and be effective practitioners and visionary leaders, but they forget that self-care is self-leadership, and it's critical for us to practice to maintain the high level of functioning that is required of us in nursing today, no matter where you work and what you're doing. I continue to learn firsthand, as recently as this week, that when we take care of ourselves, we're not just better nurses, we're better and happier parents and partners and people. You know, nurses get to connect with people in such an intimate and sacred way, beyond their diagnosis and circumstances. And because of this, people remember their nurses. The last emergency room that I worked in was in Estes Park, Colorado. And if you've ever been to Estes, you know it's a beautiful mountain town. It borders right on Rocky Mountain National Park. And it's a small town. About 10,000 people live there year-round. So often I would see people that I'd taken care of in the post office or the grocery store, which was kind of cool. And one day I was in the grocery talking to the produce manager, and this beautiful woman with long dark hair and a baby in tow came up to me and said, "I know you. You're Diane. You saved my life." Well, and I looked at her, and I didn't recognize her, but I said, "Oh, yes, and what was your name?" "Well, my name's Kathleen, and you took care of me when I had Luna here. I was really sick." And I looked at her, and I started remembering I had taken care of someone about 9 months prior who had come into the ER after laboring at home for 48 hours. Now, she delivered her baby fine, but she retained her placenta, so she lost a ton of blood. She was barely responsive, and we would have shipped her out, except she was too unstable. So for 12 hours, I pumped her full of volume and fluid and blood. And what was so amazing is she not only remembered my voice, she remembered what I said. "I remember you told me that I was so brave for enduring such a long labor, and you told me that my baby girl was beautiful and I'd be holding her soon. And you held my hand, and you kept telling me I was going to be okay." Well, I started crying, and she started crying, and the produce manager was crying. But what a gift. What a gift she gave me that day to help us remember why we do what we do. Remembering why we do what we do every day sustains us. When things don't go as planned, when we can't control the outcome of something, when the complexity of our work feels completely overwhelming. During these challenging times, it's impossible to keep our hearts and our minds open if we don't remember our why. Wherever you are on your nursing journey today, I invite you to continue to pursue experiences that will challenge you to grow and learn about yourself. You don't have to know it all. In fact, it's refreshing that you don't. Take good care of yourself so that you have the capacity to affect the positive social change that I know is so important to you. And it's so important to everyone in your life because we need it now more than ever. And lastly, remember why you do what you do every day, so you can continue to serve with an open mind and an open heart. Walden School of Nursing, class of 2019, congratulations, and thank you for answering the noble call of nursing. Namaste.